I think it's the first time in almost 40 years that we've had a piece of social legislation that really will help people. The seatbelt released, and she was thrown out the driver's window. And we believe that children should be a protected class as well, and that it has been found that children are protected under the law and are deserving of a higher standard and should be a protected class under the Civil Rights Act.
Hey, now that the health care bill has passed, everybody seems to be asking the same question. Hey, what's in it for me?
Well, it sounds like there are some good things, some bad things. Let's go to Jen Frederick. She's breaking it all down this morning from Saxby's in Haverford. Jen?
Good morning to both of you guys, and good morning to Stewart. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. I think the whole thing's been politicized to a great extent. But there are some things that you think people need to know, both good and bad. Let's begin with some of the good things. You think that doctors are going to have greater access to information about new technologies and cases and things of that nature. How will that happen?
Well, there's going to be a whole lot of computerization and sharing of information and digital information on computers, so that doctors can share information about patients, and so that there's no discontinuity. There'll be continuity of care, so that if you go to one doctor, they'll know what a specialist did for you a year ago, and that's a lot better than having it disjointed and not really having a really easy flow of information back and forth between hospitals.
So the whole team is going to know what you're about everywhere you go, despite which place you might be. Now, I told you I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the freakier things, or not the freakier things, but the things that may not be so important. But I think this is interesting. Calorie counts, we've seen them in restaurants in the Philadelphia area. That will be all over the place, and even on vending machines, right?
Yes, there's going to be a requirement to have the number of calories that are in particular foods in chain restaurants, in fast food restaurants, and on vending machines, because I think really some of the doctors and hospitals, insurance companies are really concerned that we really concentrate on preventative care.
Yeah.
So that and if you can prevent someone from being overweight, if you can prevent someone from developing diabetes, you really go a long way in reducing the cost of health care overall.
You know, I think a lot of people are disappointed because they're like, I'm going to be paying for this bill now, but a lot of the things don't really kick in until 2014. But one thing kicks in right now. The president signed the bill. It's a done deal. Children now cannot be denied benefits because of a pre-existing condition. That starts like today, tomorrow, right now, right?
Yes, that's one of the things that happens right now, and we've heard a lot about pre-existing conditions, and it's really important that people not be denied coverage, particularly children who have diseases, who have illnesses that may prevent an insurance company, or the insurance company might be reluctant to insure a child, and that's something that we don't want and in our society, and I think that this bill certainly recognizes that and puts that into place right away.
Now, you know the trial lawyers have been beat up on this whole thing. I mean, people have been coming at you. So it is remarkable. It sounds like overall you're positive. You like many of the things that this bill is going to do for the United States.
No, I think the bill is great. I think it's the first time in almost 40 years that we've had a piece of social legislation that really will help people. It will ensure 35 million more people who are not insured, and it will improve the quality of life of those that really need it and really deserve to have the best health care that they possibly can get.
As we wrap things up, yes or no, the 10% tax on tanning beds, you think it's good?
Absolutely.
The Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Philadelphia is asking a federal court to dismiss a class action lawsuit by victims of sexual abuse by priests.
And we believe that children should be a protected class as well, and that it has been found that children are protected under the law and are deserving of a higher standard and should be a protected class under the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah, hey guys, Chrysler and GM field thousands of death and injury claims every year. But now that they're bankrupt, they appear to be getting immunity from any of that liability.
Life has changed for my son and myself. You know,
it happened in a matter of seconds, but scarred Terry Cartier forever. Her 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee was involved in a rollover accident 3 years ago.
The seatbelt released, and she was thrown out the driver's window.
Terry's injuries are extensive, many irreparable.
24 broken bones, both lungs collapsed and filled with blood.
But because of the bankruptcy deal Chrysler struck with the government, Terry now has no right to sue. You see, Chrysler and GM have agreed to honor current and future warranty claims on parts.
But if you're injured or killed as a result of that product, you have no claim against the company.
That goes for current claims and any future claims made on vehicles sold before the bankruptcies.
They don't care about people's lives. They don't care about families' lives. You know, and people who die, but they'll fix a part. You know, I think that's wrong. It's sad.
The seatbelt that released in Terry's vehicle is called the Gen 3. It's the older model on the right. Consumer advocates allege the Gen 3 is defective, but it's still in about 14 million Chrysler vehicles on the road today.
Because it's raised so high, any pressure that's put on this seatbelt releases it.
But the only way consumers can reassert their right to sue is if Congress acts. Consumer advocates are calling for a fund for victims or a provision that specifies automaker liability.
I'm hopeful. I never give up hope.
Any company, whether they're domestic or foreign, that does business in the United States can be held responsible under our products liability laws. In fact, we have a number of cases where we represent people who have been injured in automobiles made by Japanese manufacturers or Korean manufacturers or German manufacturers, so that it's a very important aspect of product liability law to hold companies that make products overseas and sell them in this country responsible if those products are unsafe. Well, that's a very difficult case to bring, but there have been successful cases of smokers who have become addicted to cigarettes and are not able to kick that addiction. And if you are addicted to cigarettes and you have been, you started to smoke, particularly before the warnings came out in the 1960s, and you are not able to stop smoking and develop lung cancer as a result, then you may have a claim against tobacco company. There have also been lawsuits for secondhand smokers, people that have been in the household of smokers who have developed lung cancer, and that is a potential claim as well.